Some people count down to their birthday for weeks. They plan dinner reservations, think about what to wear, wait for the messages, the calls, the feeling that for one day life will pause and make room for them. But other people do something very different. Their birthday comes, and they go to work like usual. They answer a few texts. Maybe they say thank you. Maybe they smile. But emotionally, the day barely moves them. No excitement. No strong anticipation. No real need to make it special. And to everyone around them, that can seem strange. Because birthdays are supposed to matter. They are supposed to feel meaningful. They are supposed to make you feel celebrated, visible, and a little more loved than usual. So, when someone treats their birthday like any other day, people often assume something must be wrong. Maybe they are cold. Maybe they are detached. Maybe they do not know how to enjoy life. But that is usually not the truth. In many cases, people who downplay their birthday are not emotionless at all. They just relate to attention, meaning, and self-worth in a very different way. For them, birthdays do not automatically feel special just because the calendar says they should. And that difference often starts much earlier than people realize. For a lot of people, the emotional meaning of a birthday is built in childhood. It comes from the atmosphere around the day, the warmth in the room, the small traditions, the feeling that this date means something safe, joyful, and personal. But not everyone grows up with that. Some people came from families where birthdays were barely acknowledged. Some had celebrations that felt forced, inconsistent, or disappointing. Some learned very early that important days can come with awkwardness, tension, or unmet expectations. And when that happens, the brain does not build a strong emotional association with the day itself. So later in life, when their birthday arrives, it does not light up inside them the way it seems to for other people. Not because they are trying to be different, not because they want to reject joy, but because for them the day was never deeply tied to comfort, magic, or emotional safety in the first place. There is another reason too. A lot of people who treat birthdays casually do not actually dislike being cared for. What they dislike is being turned into the center of attention. That distinction matters, because attention and affection are not the same thing. To some people, a birthday celebration feels warm and affirming. To others, it feels exposing. Too many eyes on them. Too much pressure to react the right way. Too many expectations to look happy enough, grateful enough, touched enough. Even something as simple as a room singing to them can feel less like love and more like performance. And when a person already feels uneasy being watched, birthdays can create a strange kind of emotional tension. They know people mean well. They know the gestures are kind. But the experience still feels uncomfortable in their body. So instead of relaxing into the day, they try to keep it small, quiet, manageable. Not because they hate celebration, but because too much attention can make the moment feel less genuine. This is why many of them prefer birthdays that barely look like birthdays at all. No surprise party, no public scene, no giant post, no pressure. Just a normal day, maybe made slightly softer by the presence of the right person. And that brings us to one of the biggest misunderstandings about people like this. They often do want to be remembered. They do want to matter. They do want to feel that someone thought of them. They just do not want it delivered in a way that feels loud, performative, or socially staged. That is the paradox. A person can dislike birthday attention and still deeply value birthday tenderness.
I'll cherish this forever.
In fact, sometimes the people who make the smallest deal out of their birthday are the ones most affected by sincerity. A dozen casual messages may not move them much, but one quiet text from someone who truly knows them can stay with them all day. Not because it is dramatic, because it feels real. That is often what they are responding to. Not scale, but depth. They are not looking for a public display of care. They are looking for evidence that the care is genuine. For some of them, birthdays are also difficult for a more private reason. They do not experience the day as celebration first. They experience it as reflection, another year, another number, another reminder of time passing. And for people who are naturally introspective, birthdays can bring a subtle heaviness with them. Not necessarily sadness, just awareness. Awareness of what changed, what did not, what they hoped life would look like by now, what they still have not figured out, what they lost, what they outgrew, what they cannot get back, So while other people are saying, you should do something fun, they may be feeling something much quieter and more complicated. They may be taking inventory of their life. That is why some people seem emotionally distant on their birthday when they are actually emotionally full. They are not disconnected from the meaning of the day. They may be connected to it in a way that is too inward to look festive from the outside. There is also a personality layer to this. Some people naturally de-romanticize milestones. They do not automatically assign big emotional importance to dates, symbols, or rituals. They tend to see life more continuously. To them, growth is gradual. Love is ongoing. Meaning is built in ordinary moments. So the idea that one particular day should suddenly carry a special emotional charge may feel artificial. They might appreciate the thought behind birthdays but not believe that significance has to arrive through ceremony. And in today's world, that mindset stands out even more, because modern culture encourages people to make birthdays visible, public, shareable. A birthday is no longer just a personal experience. It often becomes social proof. Who posted for you? Who remembered? Who showed up? How loved you looked online? For someone who values privacy, that can make birthdays feel even less appealing. They may not want their inner life turned into a public event. They may not want affection to become content. They may not want to measure closeness through visibility. So when they step back from birthday culture, it does not necessarily mean they are antisocial or bitter. Sometimes it means they are protecting something. Their comfort, their privacy, their emotional pace, their desire to feel things honestly instead of theatrically. And maybe that is the deepest point here. People who treat their birthday like any other day are not always saying the day means nothing. Sometimes they're saying they do not need meaning to be loud before it becomes real. They may not need a room full of people. They may not need candles, speeches, or attention. They may not even know how to ask for what would actually feel good. But that does not mean they feel less than others. Sometimes it means they feel best in subtler ways. A quiet dinner, a thoughtful message, an ordinary day made gentle. A sense that someone remembered without making them perform, being special. So, the next time someone seems indifferent about their birthday, it may be worth looking deeper before calling them cold. They may have learned not to expect much from important days. They may feel uneasy under attention. They may experience birthdays as reflection more than celebration, or they may simply be the kind of person who feels things most honestly in silence. Not everyone wants to be celebrated loudly. Some people do not need the spotlight to feel loved. Some people do not trust big moments as much as quiet ones. And some people treat their birthday like any other day, not because their heart is empty, but because what reaches their heart is softer, smaller, and harder to see from the outside. They are not a parade. They are more like a quiet room. Nothing flashy, nothing demanding. Just depth, warmth, and the kind of meaning that only appears when the noise is gone.